Hello, good evening, everyone. So, welcome to the first video of getting interview ready. Just give me a minute before I start up the session. Okay. So, the thing we are going to talk about in this particular video is something what we call as layered architecture. So, layered architecture is going to be or is becoming the backbone of the things we have been doing today in today's world, whatever applications are built. Yeah, I think it is 10:32. We'll just give 2 3 more minutes before people join in, and let's then start. So, okay, I will just ping in the group again so that if anyone is willing to join, they can start. Okay, so what we will do here is I will share my screen and let us start with something what we are planning. I will create. I welcome you all to the first episode of our. Just give me 1 second. So we have our. Yeah. Okay. So the first thing what we are planning up is something what we call as layered architecture. Now, when I talk about layered architecture, it's have you ever heard about layered architecture? Have you ever heard about layered architecture? Anytime. I would, if you can, you just help me out with the chat window. Have you ever heard about layered architecture? Okay. Now, layered architecture is something you create when you plan to, like, you have to build an application. Now, understand that we have where what will be the ultimate aim where the data will store. The journey of the data is quite simple. We have the data. This data should land up in database, correct? This data should land up in the database. But this data will directly never ever land into the database. You have to make certain changes before this data will land up into the database. So if I write a Java program or if I pick up any programming language, yeah, I pick up Java, I pick up JavaScript, I pick up Python, we have to break down the journey of the data. Yeah. And a very important concept is what we call as separation of concerns. So if I give you a simple example, that consider I have a place. Okay, I have one single place here. I want to build a restaurant. I want to build a restaurant. Okay, I have rented a big room. Now, what are the things if I want to build up a restaurant? What are the things in or the equipments I will need here? Can you help me out with that? What are the various equipments which I will need here if I am building a restaurant? Yeah. What do you think so? What are the equipments I will need? This example will play a very important role for you to understand how layered architecture work, and then you will be able to work upon any in any language you will be able to map it. So now you tell me what do you think so will be like if I have a place, I have rented a room, like a big area, and now I want to build a restaurant here. What are the things I'll have to add up? What are the things I will have to add up here? Yeah. Or first thing, let us divide this area. How many areas this restaurant will be divided? How many area this restaurant will be divided? Any guess? Take a wild guess. Yeah. First, yeah, we need a kitchen and a dining. Perfect. So consider I have a dining area here and I have a kitchen here. Yeah, I have a dining area here. Then I have a kitchen here, and then I say I have a storage room. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, we can keep restroom as an external part, but for now the more important implementation will be what? Like I have a dining area, I have a kitchen, I have a storage room. Correct. Now what will happen? In the dining area, people will come and sit, obviously. Then in the kitchen, we will be having what? Kitchen is where we will have our chefs. Correct. Kitchen is where we will have our chef. Storage room, here we have got the sitting arrangement. Correct. Then we have got the chef, and we have got the storage room where we will have the fridge or the freezer where we'll keep our things. So if you see now, our restaurant area is actually divided in three parts. One is my dining area. Okay. One is my dining area. Then other is my kitchen area. And then I have my storage area, right? Then I have my storage area. Here what we'll do, see, this particular thing will be responsible. This is, now you tell me which one is the, which area of this restaurant will be the front facing, or people will come and give their order in that part. If we have three areas, right? Then which one will act as a front facing area? Which of this area will act as a front facing area? Can I say my dining area will act as a front facing area where people will come, or the outside world will interact with my application at this layer? Outside world will interact with my application at this layer. Then I have got my, then what they'll do, they I want to place it. So here they will be like, I want to place an order. Correct. That area will go to the chef. Now chef is here. Let's say you're creating a pizza store. So you specify them that I want a pizza which looks like this, and it should be like only capsicum, no onion, tomato, nothing at all, and with extra cheese. Some instructions you give. Those instructions will be taken to the chef. Now what will chef do? Chef normally have a sous chef or a helper. They will ask, go to fridge, bring capsicum, tomato, bread, cheese, and so on. And now those things will be given to me. So now who is responsible for accumulating everything here? Chef is responsible for acting on the recipe. Now see, the recipe clearly said the onion should be there, but you made a request. So now chef in the kitchen will decide, okay, you know what, this cannot be done. They don't want onions, will not put onion. So here what happens, the business decisions are taken here. And then based on that, those things are given back to the dine-in customer, correct? So if you see, are you understanding this example? Like, are you getting a gist, like how I have layered the whole restaurant right now? How my whole restaurant is layered for now, correct? Now, if you look at an application, yeah, if you look at from an application point of view, we will be dividing this application. We have to divide this application very simply. We have got this front layer. You know what this front layer is also called as? This is called as a controller layer. This is called as a controller layer. Okay. This layer here is called as service layer here. Okay. And this layer here is basically called as the repository layer. These are very important terminologies. Now, it is not only that this will happen in the API architecture, this happens in all sort of architectures. So the idea is very simple. You have in your application also, now you need to break down your application into three layers. First layer, second layer, third layer. One layer, every layer will be having an implementation which will do their own work. So in simple terms, if I say you have an application, and if I tell you that from a console someone will give you the data, someone is going to give you the data from the console. Okay, so one point, that data is supposed to be stored right now. Let's say we do not use, I am not planning to use databases at this time, because I don't know database a lot. So I'm focusing only on the layered architecture. For today's, I want to make sure that I show you a simple example also, from for which using which you can break your data into a simple code, and let's try to break it into the architecture as well. Yeah, sorry, let us break it into a proper layered architecture. So what I want to do, see, I have two options. I will write one single Java file. I will write a single Java file where one area will be responsible for, see, it will be responsible for taking the data from the console, taking data from your console, then passing the data to your service layer. Okay, passing the data to service layer. From passing on the data to the service layer, we will do what? Service layer will decide what is exactly to be done. What is the business logic I want to apply? Based on that business logic area, I'll do what? I will store the data for today. Rather than using the database as my ultimate storage, I will use a collection API, or I will use a list from Java. Yeah, I will use a Java list to store my data. Clear on the example? What I want to do? Clear on my example what I'm planning to do? Yeah, a thumbs up from everyone please if you have understood. Like the case study what we are planning to do, I have a simple case study. I want to fetch the data from the user, break it, put it into the database, but we don't have any database right now. I might do a session on JDBC sometime, and then we will just add up this data into the backend. Yeah, so for now what I want to do, let us you got this point? Yeah, you got this point. I will do what I would need 1 second to just find one image. Okay, just give me a minute. I want to show you that example what I'm looking for, and I can then show you what I plan to do. Yeah, the architecture layer, I have a good diagram for it. I should have kept it handy. This is so, okay, just a simple minute and then I will be back. Layered architecture, just need the diagram for it. I had it somewhere. Okay, don't worry. I'll do what? I will just show you that diagram at the end. I will figure it out meanwhile. So I will start sharing my screen again, and let us see how this works. So what I'll do is I will use IntelliJ, and I will start a simple application here. So let's use a simple Java application. I'm not using anything beyond what I have been using on everyday basis. So I'll start with my IntelliJ, and let it start quickly. Let's create this application for layered architecture. So I create a new project. I go to the project, and all these things I will just add it up in your application. I will put this to the Git repo, so you need not worry about it. Okay, so I'll create a folder called as get interview ready, and inside get interview ready. This is our first application which I want to do here, that is layered architecture. Okay, so I'll select this folder and I'll select IntelliJ for now. So I'm using a simple Java based application, and this is, let's create this new window, start the okay. So this is my project. Now the plan is, I want to accept the data of a customer. Yeah, I want to accept the data of a customer and store it in my customer list. So I will say I have got customer. This customer details, consider I am creating this application for a bank, and in that bank I want to have my customer should have ID, they should have name, they should have an email address, they should have a phone number, they should have an account type, what type of account they have, like is this a saving account, is this a current account. Okay, and I want to store their date of joining, or date of joining which they have added, like when they joined my bank. Yeah. So first thing, you need to create the packages. As we are working upon a layered architecture example, what we need to do is, first we need to create our packages. So for package, I will say, see, I'll create a package here, the base package, which is com dot code with z. Okay. Under the com dot code with z, I want to create the first package. What is my first package? I will call this package as controller, which will be responsible for storing the data, or this will be the front facing area. Okay. Then I create another package. Let me call that package as what? Services package. Here, everything related to my business logic will jump in, right? And then I am writing another package which I will call as repository. Okay. So this is okay. I made a spelling mistake. Let us fix that. Refactor, rename, and it is repository. Okay. So this is my repository package, and then after that, I will have one more where I'll keep my entities, or what we commonly call them is as model. Okay. So model is the place where I will keep my files like customer, the file which is supposed to go to the backend, the file which is supposed to be in my like with the area which I will be taking from one point till next. So I go to the model and I write my class. Let me call it as what? Customer. Yeah, I want to write it as my customer. So in my customer, what I have is, as I said, I have public int id, or you know what, the logic says we should have this private so that no one should be able to edit it from outside. Okay. Then I have got private string name. Then I have private string email. Okay, that I have an email. Then I have got private, and let us take it this as what, a string phone. Then I'll say private local date, and I'll say what is the date of joining, date of join. And then I have got private string account type. Okay, we have got account type. So what this will do simply for me is this black theme okay, or do you want me to switch to a white theme? Like you can tell me. I think some of you might be also looking at this from mobile. So just to uh, help you with that, is this okay? It comes by default, Tej. Yeah. No, I don't want to. Okay, white theme attract bugs. That's good. So we'll stick to the black theme, and it looks good as well. So now when we create this, if I want this to be used outside, whenever you create a simple uh, entity, you need to remember that that entity cannot be like should not be accessed from outside directly. This is one of the very important interview question. Why do I use a private? Yeah, because when you create an object, nobody should able to just go and start working on that, right? They should be able to help you, or they should be they cannot just access the customer object and start making the changes. So here I need to write my setter getters. How do I write setter getters in IntelliJ? You will just right click and go to generate. Yeah, you'll just right click, go to generate, and inside generate we have setters and getters. You'll select all the function, all the methods you have here, and you will say generate. So see, all the setter getters are generated for me, correct? All the setter getters are generated for me. And you should also have a constructor. So I will do what, I will just press enter up top here, and I will add a constructor. So here it will be what, generate constructor. So I want to first create a blank constructor, which should always be the case, and then I'll create one constructor with all the value. Yeah. So okay, everything is done. So I have got setter getter. This way my customer class is completed. Yeah, my customer class is completed, simple as that. Next, what I want to do is, now I have got three different layers. Yeah, I have got three different layers where my data will transfer now. So I go to the controller first. I say, let's create a Java class here, and let me call it as what, customer controller. Yeah, this will be customer controller. The job of the customer controller is what, that whatever data I have, like whatever, this is the front facing theme, like they are responsible for taking the data from the front end now. Okay, so they are supposed to accept that front end data and then work on it. Then in my services layer, let me create a Java class. Let us call it as what, customer service. Customer service will be responsible for accepting that business logic and then using that ahead. And then in my repository, what will I do? I'll create a Java class. Let me call it as what, customer repository. Okay. Now the customer repository is responsible for what, storing that data. Like this is the actual storage area. Now ideally it should be database, but we cannot do database here. So I will have to just make whatever best I can do out of this customer repository. So now let us start with the lowest layer first. What is that layer? I have got the repository layer. In my repository layer, this is very independent layer right now. So what will I do? I will write a single function here, which is what? See, public static, and I say that I want to store my data in an array list. And this array list is going to be for what? Customer. Yeah, it is going to be for what? A customer. So I say customer, which I will have to import from my model directory. Yeah, and then I say this is my customer database, or customer data is equal to new array list. So I am instantiating a blank customer array list. Simple. Yeah. Then whenever someone asks me that please store the data into the customer database, what I'll do? Public string add customer, and you have the customer detail. What will you do? The list have a function. What does that function say? Customer data dot add customer. Now if you keep the mouse on this add, it will give you a return type, whether the customer was added or not. So let us derive that, which says boolean customer added is equal to, and then I return what? Return. So it will, I will simply say a string status is equal to, what is the condition? Customer added. And then I use what, this is what we call as ternary operator, that if this customer added, which is a boolean value, is true, I will return added, else I will return not added. Yeah, else I will return not added. So okay, and then I'll have to return that. So I'll say return status. Simple. Okay. First point, I if I want to add a customer, that customer will be added into this file. Now whenever you create an application like this, you need to remember there are five basic operations. there are 5 operations which we need to always do. What are those operations? First, add a entity, add an entity, fetch single entity, fetch a single entity, then fetch all entities, then update an entity, then delete an entity. Okay, then I have to delete an entity. So you see, I have to apply this 5 important functions. Now you also will need to remember one thing, that when we create this layered architecture, yeah, when we create, there are 3. See what will happen. Now this diagram will help you to understand this on a very better layer. Okay, so yeah, this is also called as CRUD. This is also called as CRUD. Yeah, perfect. So Sanchit, sorry, it's a perfect name. I forgot that name. It is called as CRUD operation. The CRUD operations are quite simple. You know what those operations? Anyone knows the full form of this CRUD? You know what does that CRUD stands for? So this is my application here. In my layered architecture, the first point is like this: create, read, update, delete. Perfect. See, so there are 3 layers here, right? There are 3 layers. What are that? The first layer is what we are calling as controller layer. The second layer is what we are calling as, the first layer is what we call as controller layer. The second layer is what we are calling as service layer, and the third layer is what we are calling as repository layer. And we do not have a database normally here, but but try Excalidraw. Yeah. I use Excalidraw, Tej, but the thing is, drawing there is very slow. So this way, if I have to draw something, it is much faster, right? In Excalidraw, the same diagram will take like just 15 minutes to draw a diagram. Yeah. So here I am using an array list. Here I am using an array list to store my data. So here, if you see what will happen in the controller layer, and you know what is one thing which is shared between all these 3? The data for the customer will be given to the controller. Controller will pass the customer to the service. Service will pass the customer. So customer is one thing. Yeah, the customer object is one thing which is shared between all the 3 layers. Agreed? Customer is one thing which is shared between all these 3 layers. So what happens here? I will have, now remember one thing. When I create the customer controller, you know what will be the name of my function? Add customer. When I create service layer, you know what will be the name of my function? Add customer. When I create my repository layer, the name of my function will be what? Add customer. So I have got all the 3 layers. Remember one thing, irrespective of the layer in which that application in that the function is, that function will perform accordingly. The name of the function will remain same. So all the 3 layers will have the functions with exactly same name. So see this. Here I had got what? Customer, add customer. Then what are the other functions I will have here? I will also have public list of customer. Public list of customer. I will call it as get all customers. Get all customers. And so I have to import this java.util, and then I will simply do what? Return my customer data, which is nothing but my array list here. Yeah. Then I have got a single return function, which is what? Public customer get customer by ID. And then I will say customer data. Yes, the layer should be independent of each other. That is the main part. So that we also have a concept called as separation of concern. Let me come to that. Yes. And then if I want to update a customer, so I'll say public string update customer. You need to give me 2 things: customer as well as the ID of the customer. And then what will I do in this situation? I want to update the data in my customer. So I'll say customer data dot uh, yeah. So I will say first I need to get the index at which the customer is. So I will first write index is customer data dot index of customer, which will give me the index of that customer. And then I will do what? I'll say customer data dot add that particular index, or I can also say set this index with the updated customer. So this is the index and I will pass the customer object. See, this is the updated customer which I have received from service layer. I'll better call it as what? Updated customer. So here I will pass updated customer. Here too I will pass updated customer, and this set function returns the element. So I'll say customer, I am getting the customer which is updated, and if this is not null, yeah, if this particular one is not null, so I'll say if customer which is updated not equals to null, then I will return, see, updated, else will return not updated. And then the last function is where I'll say public string delete customer. You give me the ID, and then I will say customer data dot remove. Yeah, customer data dot what are the functions available? So we must be having a remove function. See, I'll do what, rather than passing the ID, I will pass the customer object which is supposed to be deleted. So I'll say customer to be deleted, and I will also pass int ID. So I'll say find customer data dot index of customer to be deleted, which will give me the index element, and int index is equal to this. Then I will do what, customer data dot remove of index, and this will return me what? See, this is returning the object uh, to one which is deleted for me. Yeah. So see, this is what it is returning me this. So I will again accept the customer this way, customer which is deleted, and if I find that customer is deleted, I will just use that for returning my data. So customer which is deleted, so I'll say deleted here, and here I'll say not deleted. Okay, simple. So I have created a layer now. A complete layer has been done. Yeah, a complete layer has been done. So this is my backend layer. Clear so far? Clear so far how I have created a backend layer? Now let me only focus on two things for now. I will focus on adding a customer, getting all, and getting a single customer. So I'll go to my customer service. You know what are the 5 methods I will have to add here? Any guesses? What are the 5 methods I'll add here? Public string add customer. You give me the customer object which is coming from customer, and then I will return something. Okay. Then I will say public list of customer get all customers. So here for now I'll just return null. Here also I will return null to show you, like, okay, we have got this particular implementation available. Then I have got public get customer. You pass me the ID, and this will return as a customer object. This will return as a customer object. So this is it. I'll return null for now. and then I'll write the implementation. Then I have got public string update customer and int id, and here also for now I'll return null, and then I have got public string delete customer, and I'll return null for now. Okay, so these are the functions which I'm writing. Again, you know what next thing is, I can simply copy all these functions, go where, into my controller layer. Are you understanding how easy it becomes to, when things are independent, you can use the same names and you can distribute your application accordingly. Getting the beauty of this part of implementation, where layered architecture, you can divide your whole application, and now you know something is wrong with your business logic, which layer will you go to? If you understand there was some problem with the logic, which layer will you try to go and debug? Will it be service? Will it be controller? Will it be repository? Yes, I think it should be the, if you find there is some problem with the business logic, which area will you go and try to debug? What do you think so? Anyone? Yeah, I'll go to the service layer. I will go to the service layer. At the same time, I find there is some problem with the storage. I'll go to the repo layer. I think there is some problem while fetching the data. I'll go to the customer controller layer. So that is what I will basically do here. Perfect. Yeah. So here, what now I'll do is I will create my controller layer. So let us write the code for the service layer for now. In my service layer, when I want to add a customer, I will need the object of which layer now here? Customer service layer. Now see, here comes the another factor, what we also call as dependency. So the controller layer is dependent on service layer. A service layer is dependent on repository layer. Now the service layer will require an object of repository layer to process this data ahead. So what is one thing I'll have to do here? What is one thing I'll have to do here? Is in my customer service function, I will have to say customer repository. Customer repository is equal to new customer repository. I'll have to instantiate this object. And then you know what I'll do? I will get the customer object from front end. Here, I will do what? Let us say the customer object is created. I will add a customer, because we do not have any database right now. So first, I will do what? See, at this point, I am trying to build a logic out of the blue and think, because we do not have a database. If I had a database, or I had a implementation which where the backend could have been used, I would have asked them for the next ID. I don't want the user to enter their ID, right? It's not fair on the user that they should enter their ID. It should be me. So I would be responsible for generating the ID now. So for that reason, what I can do in my customer repository layer, see, now this is not a very foolproof logic. You want, you can give it a try. But in my repository, I am telling you that I can say public int get next ID. Okay, get next ID. So in this ID, what I am doing, that let's take the customer, or we can take a unique ID which can be generated. You know, how about, let's go and ask ChatGPT. Uh, Java code to randomly generate 5-digit ID. Okay. Slow down. I don't know why. Let's refresh that once. Okay. Still loading, I guess. I have this problem. I don't know why ChatGPT for me doesn't work properly on Chrome. I can use it on Edge very easily, but whenever I use it on Chrome, it start acting up. See, it's working very fine here. So they say we can use this one or we can use the random. So let's use random and get that ID for myself. So here I will copy this one. Let's go back. And you know what I normally do is if we use this, I can create this if this is something utility, right? So here I will make use of random ID. Let's import java.util.random. So this will give me a random number between 1 to 10,000 and 999. For now, see, I know two times the random value can be same. I don't have to worry about that because eventually I will add it up to the database. But for now, what I want to do is int ID is equal to I can say customer repository dot get next ID. So see, from this layer, I am calling into the next layer to give me the ID back. Then I'll say customer dot set ID, and then I'll say customer repository dot add customer. And this is returning me added or not added. So this will return to the front end also that you know what the customer was added or it was not added. So this way I get customer repository dot add customer. When I want to fetch all the customer, you know what I'll do? I will just say return customer repository dot get all customers, simple as that. And when I want to get a single customer, I will simply say customer repository dot get customer, and I will pass my ID from here, which will return a customer object. So simple. Till this point, clear so far? Clear so far what I have done? In the service layer, I am invoking the repository. So I'm getting the repository layer from the other end, and I'm getting it called. So when I want to add a customer, I assigned an ID, I passed it. When I pass with the customer get all customer, I am getting this all customers, because this all customers were defined here. Okay. And I'll say return ID. Okay. This will return my ID. Okay, so far clear, I guess. Next. So this is my customer service. Now comes the part for my controller layer. Controller layer is where we will be responsible for asking them, okay, what exactly we want to do in the customer controller layer. In the customer controller layer, it will be responsible for accepting the data and then passing it ahead and getting my work done. So how do we do that now? So I am thinking we need to make use of scanner. You know, scanner is used for accepting the data from the uh, it basically it is responsible for accepting the data from my front end. So let us say scanner is, I can create a common scanner object here. Let's see, scanner is equal to new scanner system.in, so which will get imported. Whenever someone asks me that I want to add the customer, what will I do? I will ask the scanner object to give me certain things like system dot out dot print. Yeah, I want to say enter customer name, and then I can just say customer name is scanner dot next line. Then I can say system dot estimate enter customer. What are the things we have? We had got name, then we have got, what we have got next is email, right? So let us ask for email. So we need customer email, and we also need the phone number, right? So string customer email is scanner dot next line. Then we have got not address, but after, no, not the address. We have got customer phone, right? So I need to get the customer phone number, string phone number. Then I need to accept what next is their enter banking account type, and we give them hint that either choose like add savings or current, right? We can have savings or current account. So we are specifying, okay, this is what I can do here. And then I'll say banking account type is this. Then date of joining is something I can assign by myself, right? So I'll ask the service layer to do that for me. And this is done. Then after I take this scanner, you know what I'll do next is I need the, now see the dependency layer again. Controller is dependent on service. So I need to instantiate the object of service in controller now. So I'll say customer service. Customer service is equal to new customer service. Then I pass what? See, then I pass customer service dot add customer. I need to first construct this customer object now. So this will be what? Customer is equal to new customer object. And then in my customer object, what am I saying? Customer dot, see, no one is going to pass me the customer object here right now because I am not in the actual UI. So that is fine. So I'll say customer is equal to new customer. Customer dot set name is, I will pass the customer name. Customer dot set email. Customer dot set phone number. Customer dot set bank account type is my banking account type. And I have these four details for now which I received from front end. Let me pass this to the customer service layer. Yeah, let me pass this to the customer service layer, and I will say return customer service. So this time what is happening, I am passing the customer object ahead, and I go back to the service layer. Let us complete one layer first. So this is coming up here. I need to set up one more thing now. Before I set the data into the list, I will have to say customer dot set date of join, which is what, local date dot now, which will set today's date as well, because that is what we are doing, right? If I'm creating the account today, my date should be set for today. This data goes back to the customer, and the repository will tell me whether the customer data was added or not. Okay, so this was best part of it. Next, let us go to the main function. Let us go to the main, and in this main, let us initiate. So I can simply say here, welcome to Code with Z Bank, and I can simply say here, okay, select your operation. So when you say I want to select your, yes, select your operation. For example, I can give them options like enter one. Okay, so what are the operations available here? Enter one for adding a new customer. Enter two for getting list of all the customers. Enter three. For now, I will getting getting a single customer. And based on that, what I'll do in this particular class itself, I will declare the object of customer controller, which is the front facing, right? So I'll say customer controller is equal to new customer controller. And from here, what I'm giving them option that you can add up which customer you want to, or which area you want to go in. So here I will say scanner. I will have to make use of scanner here, and I will say int choice. And based on the choice, I can simply say switch of my choice. Case one, when they add one, what will I do? See, in the switch case, what will happen when we do add one? I will simply say customer controller that add customer, and then I break from here. Then case two. Okay, then I have got my case two, where I will say customer controller dot get all customers for now, and I will see what we have to do on the UI after that. And then I say break from here. I don't want to go to the next case. Then I say case three. Why it is not getting back to the switch case? Property. Okay. For now, case three is what? customer controller dot get customer. So here I will have to ask them for any customer object as well. So for now I just passed one. Yeah, I have just passed one. Mm, so based upon my choice, what I will get this many areas and next. So let us go for the first one now. Let's see how it operates. I'll try to execute this. So it should open my terminal now after it builds. It's asking me select your operation what you want to do. Oh, I never asked them to. I never gave a message here. So I have to say system.out.println. Enter your choice. Okay, I'll rerun this. See, enter your choice. I say one. The moment I say one, it's asking me enter your name. So I'll say Tom. Customer email Tom at gmail.com. Phone number. It will say let's say 1112223. Banking account type. It's a savings account. It says processing has finished because something must have been added to the backend, and I wanted this to be continuously keep on running. So what I have to do here is select your operation. Welcome to this bank. I have to put it inside a loop. While true, keep on asking. Like don't end this code here. Yeah, you have a choice. Once that is done, it will go back, start again. Like what is your choice? Okay. See, this is how you keep your console application up and running. So this way, now when I go to customer controller, it is returning me what whether the customer was added or not. So let me go back to my main, and yes, we also need a default condition here, right? So I say case default, or sorry, we have got default case, and which is like wrong. If none, it is none of the case, I will simply say system.out.println invalid choice, enter again. Yeah, and then I can also break from this switch case. So I think this switch will actually break me out. So I'll have to I think I'll have to comment of the break function here. So let's see how it works. Let us try that again, but this customer is giving me a result, right? So I'll say result. Yeah, and then I will say system.out.println customer addition result. I run this again. Enter your choice one. Let's say Tom at gmail.com 112233 savings. Okay, see customer addition, the status is added. So this data has already went into my backend. Okay, perfect. This is my first operation which is working from here perfectly. And now it is asking me what you want to do next. So if I say enter 2, so it is doing nothing right now. And if I enter 5, it will say invalid choice, choose again. So now let us go back into the controller and fetch something for get all customers. So whenever you get the customer object back, I will have to just go and make one small change. See, what is that change? In my customer, if I want to display all the data properly, I will have to override a function which will be available in generate. The function is toString function. Okay. So it will give me the object of the customer properly like this here. Now what I do, I go back to the customer controller. I'll get list of all my customers here now. Yeah. So I'll say customer service dot get all customers. And how will I connect it with my console? So when I get the customers, all the customers back, which will be given to me in what? A list, right? A list of customer. Customers is equal to like this. And my list is java.util list. What do I do next? For customer, customer in customers, system.out.println as individual customer. Yeah. So whatever customers are already added, I will be able to get them. Now let us try to execute this again. So if you check my console, this time if I say 2, enter, says nothing. But if I say 1, and let us add a customer, Tom at gmail.com, 112233. Account type is savings. And okay, customer was added. Let me add one more customer. Yeah. So here I say Elizabeth. Customer email is eli@gmail.com. Phone number is 221133. She has a current account. And now I say, give me the list of customer. See, now this customer data is going in the backend. Backend is for what now? At this point, my backend is nothing but an array list. So it goes, these are my randomly generated ID. I have got Tom, Elizabeth, all the data, and see, all the data of joining are 16th October, which is for today. Are you understanding what we are doing here? Simple operation. Very, very simple operation. Then what I do next, I go back to service layer and I want to fetch a single customer now. So that is also done. I have to just get that customer data back from here in my controller. But in the controller, what will I do is I will pass, I need to, in fact, I have to ask the ID from the front end. Yeah. So let us keep it like this. We will ask the ID in the console. And this will return us what? Customer service dot get customer from the ID. Okay. So if you go to main, here what we'll do, we will ask the user to enter a ID. So here I'll say what? System.out.println, enter the ID for the customer you want to load. Okay. Then int ID scanner dot next thing. Then I pass this ID here, which should return me an object now, which should return me a customer object. So I'll say customer is equal to this, and then if this customer equals null, I will say system.out.println customer with ID plus ID is not found. Else system.out.println just print the customer object. Simple as that. So now because I have made the changes, I'll have to redo this. So I'll stop and rerun this. I'll say enter your choice. So Tom at gmail.com. Yeah, ID is created by random, correct. So I will get those lists first, right? And then I say what do I have? Customer Tom, phone number 112233, savings. Yeah, and then I say enter one. So I say Elizabeth, eli@gmail.com, 221133, current account. Then I say my choice is what 2, which will give me list of both the customers. Now I say I want to load an individual customer. So I'll say I want to load the customer which is 46825. Okay. It is now saying that index is out of bound. Yeah. I think I have figured out what you're trying to say, Sanchit, that we are trying to load the data for which the customer array is out. We'll have to, so what do you think? So which layer will I need to go and check this? Which layer will I need to go and check this? I think I'll have to go to the repository layer. There might be some issue here because I'm trying to pass the ID and this ID will come on the basis of customer. So I have to do what? Okay. Again, let's go and ask ChatGPT. I have a list of customers with ID. How from an array list object, I can retrieve customer with a specific ID. Okay, this is done, created. Find customer by ID is a function I'll have to add. So they say for all the customers, I will return. Yeah. Let us take this function, put it in our repository layer that I need to find out customer, find customer by ID, where we pass the customers, we pass the ID, and or you know what I can do is I can simply just use this when I'm using the customers right now. So here, this is nothing but my customer data. So for customer, I'll return this customer or else I will return null. I guess this will fix the issue. So let us execute the main again. Let me add two customers quickly. One is Tom at gmail.com, 112233 savings. One, okay. We have to do a lot of exception handling to get this started. But for now, let's stick to this Tom at gmail.com, 112233 savings. So one Elizabeth Eli at gmail.com. Then phone number is 332211. And then this is a current account. And then the two customers created, consider them as what? 44552. I say I want to find out individual customers. So 44552. Enter. See, this time I got my ID for Elizabeth. I don't know why it is giving invalid choice. I think I'll have to check that. Again, if I say I want to check for 3, so what was the other customer I had, which was 73841. 73841 is giving me Tom, and then I say 12345. The customer was not existent there, so it is giving me nothing, and it should have given something here. But yeah, I guess this is good enough. So this is, are you understanding how the layered architecture is working now? Simple application, a single customer storage, but you have got all the boilerplate code ready now here. Yeah, we have got all our boilerplate code ready. Okay, so I hope this was useful what we have done. I have planned like a 1 hour session for today. I guess it was a useful 1 hour here. Let us post this to the git repo. Let us post it to the git repo. So how we can, let me commit quickly. I'll have to add the remote now. So for that, let me take my git. I'm planning to just make this much more centralized for later on. For today, I'll just add it up here. Yeah, we can do that, Sufyan. We are going to like, we just started. Things like this, you can pop up, ping me in the group. In fact, what I was planning is, see, that group might become a problem for me because a lot of people are adding up there, and I'm like, but that is fine for the people I know, but a lot of unknown people will also get added. So I am planning to shift to a channel on WhatsApp. I will share the link in the group, and once people have shifted to the channel, because that way my phone number will be private in that situation, and we will be able to work in that order then. Yeah. So this is my first implementation here, and what we have added. I hope you enjoyed this first get interview ready session. I tried. It was like out of the like top of the mind. I just thought of something. I thought, let's start it up. Yeah. So if you can give me a good feedback about it, that how it went, everything, like this is how we'll do. Not stretch it for 2 3 hours. We'll do quick 1 hour things. Important features. We'll plan it ahead of time, and I'll we can keep on doing. Okay. Thanks a lot. Have a great evening. And can we confirm thing and reprint choice one? Yeah, yeah, we can do that. See, the idea is Sanchit will have to just what you can say, play with that console there. The scanner thing will have to play up there. So not a big issue there. You just know how to change the console, like how to play with the scanner. These things will be fine. So it's all about how do you take care of the inputs. Okay, thanks a lot. Okay, good night, everyone. And see you soon next for the next episode. Thank you. Bye.